Great, 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 great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mr. Godfrey, you'll just follow as we go along. You'll just have to listen attentively. Okay, guys, sincere apologies for that mishap, but we can go ahead and take it away. I've been given 20 minutes to speak, but we'll try and cap it to 15 minutes so that we can allow time for questions and a bit of interaction, right? So before we dive into today's session, I want us to start with a bold statement, right? And this statement is a statement that I really, really identify with. It says, AI will not take your job, but someone using AI will. And I want us to let that sink in for a moment. Now, dear young person, this is not just a catchy line. It's backed by reality, and that is the reality of our world today. The job market is changing rapidly, and AI is at the heart of that transformation. If you're not aware of this, of course, you must be living under a rock. Now, according to the World Economic Forum, by 2025, 85 million jobs will be displaced by AI and automation. Guys, this is next year, not 5 years from now, a decade, by 2025. Now, on the flip side, there are 97 million new jobs that are going to be created in place of all of these jobs that are going to be replaced. And these jobs, fortunately, require people who know how to make use of artificial intelligence, right? If we take it to the private sector, companies that are adopting artificial intelligence are seeing massive gains in productivity, some by as much as 40%. And for the job seekers in this webinar, I want to tell you that 74% of jobs that are AI related have seen an increase in job hiring in the last 4 years. Now, that's not the future, guys. This is today. So when I say that someone using AI will take your job, what I mean is people who learn to leverage these tools as opposed to the ones who try and oppose them are going to be at the forefront of the job market. They are going to be the ones who are going to be taking people's jobs and rendering people redundant. So the question is then that I want to pose to you today as the listeners is, are you going to be the one using AI, or are you going to be left behind by someone who is using this great and wonderful piece of technology? Now, it would be rude for me to continue with this presentation without introducing myself. My name is Chuma Memela, and I'm thrilled to be speaking to you guys today about artificial intelligence. And to give you a bit of context about myself, and very briefly so, Mr. God, you can proceed to the next slide, sir. I come from the University of Fort Hare. I did my undergraduate degree in economics, and I went to complete my honors in information systems, right? Currently, I'm pursuing my master's in information systems. My bread and butter, I work as a researcher. I'm a research consultant, and I have my own research consultancy firm. This is where I focus on economic development and policy work for my clients, and we primarily focus on informing government decisions on economic policy. Now, this is a role that I'm deeply passionate about, as it allows me to contribute meaningfully to real-world challenges. And it makes sense why I went and studied economics. So that's still a big part of myself, So I've been on this AI journey and tech journey for a few years now. And I'm currently the founder of Genius AI, as Ms. Lusanda indicated, which is all about helping entrepreneurs and businesses unlock the potential of artificial intelligence. Now, my journey into the field of AI started with a passion for the future of work and the realization that AI isn't just a tech thing for everyone. And this is the journey that I undertook towards the end of my third year, where I had to decide, do I go the economics route for my honors, or do I go the tech route? And I chose the tech route simply because I had to sit down and think and look at the world was going, and I had to make that jump, even though I had convinced myself I'm not a tech savvy person. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I know so many people are in that same situation. They convince themselves they are not tech savvy and they are not technological people. But at the end of the day, no one is born tech savvy. All of this stuff can be learned. And I want to encourage the people listening today to take the time that is necessary to go and learn these technologies, because it is going to be the single most important piece of technology that is going to affect your life going forward. Now, let's get into the heart of the matter, which is what exactly is artificial intelligence? And I want us to demystify this concept, right? So I'm sure a lot of you hear the term AI, you think of robots, you think of some futuristic technology that is too complicated to understand. But here's the thing, AI is a big part of our daily lives already. So let's demystify it a bit. At its core, I would like to say AI is about creating machines that can think and learn like humans, right? So I want you to think of AI as a software that can perform tasks that would normally require human intelligence, like understanding language, recognizing images, or even making decisions. It's not some big, scary concept, but something that makes our lives very easy on a daily basis, right? Remember now, I said it mimics human intelligence. It does not replicate human intelligence. So for example, if you've ever used Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, you're using AI. For those who enjoy entertainment and like to come home and watch Netflix, you might have noticed that Netflix knows your favorite series. And how in the world would Netflix know that? It's because Netflix makes use of AI-powered algorithms to learn you so that it can give you the best recommendation. Ever been stuck in traffic or going to a new city you don't know and you're trying to figure out the quickest route to your destination? Google Maps. How does it know which is the quickest route, taking into account traffic in real time? That is all artificial intelligence, ladies and gentlemen. So I just want to let you guys know that AI is even behind personalized ads on social media, or autocorrect, or Google Translate. I'll tell you something crazy, and this is something that freaked me out. I remember one time I was talking about this cream ointment called Voltaren. It's a cream for muscle pain, right? And I was talking about this muscle pain cream with a friend. The next hour, I saw an ad on YouTube about this thing. This goes to show that our cell phones are listening to us, and the ads that are being sent to us are targeted. And this all uses artificial intelligence. Now, I want us to shift towards the developments in artificial intelligence, right? Most people think that artificial intelligence is something that came about in 2022, but this is not the case. Artificial intelligence started way back in the 1950s. One of the most well-known figures is a guy called Alan Turing. He developed the concepts of machines that could think for themselves. And over the decades, we've seen computers getting smarter and smarter, and they have been doing things that are almost seem impossible, right? One quote that I like from Elon Musk, he said that innovation is indistinguishable from magic. And this is something that I can agree with, because listen, if you said in the early 1500s that one day we would see flying cars, you would have been burnt alive. But if we are being generous, airplanes are flying cars. So this is what I mean, or this is what the quote means when it says innovation is indistinguishable from magic. Now, fast forward to the last few years, of course, we've seen some massive developments. For example, in 2022, a tool called ChatGPT was introduced, right? Suddenly, we had AI that could generate human-like responses in real time. So whether you needed writing a story, asking a question, or even creating business strategies, it's incredible just how far in such a short time that these technologies have developed. I mean, just look at the progress that has been made in the past 2 years as opposed to the past decade. We can even talk about technologies such as Midjourney and DALL-E. Now, these are AI-powered technologies that allow you to text, to speak, you to use text to generate images. I know now they've even got AI tools where you can literally use text to generate films, short clips. And of course, as this technology improves, we are going to get to a stage where people like me and you could literally create a movie with our favorite actors and, live our imagination. So what does this mean for us? It means that AI is no longer just a niche tool that can only be used by tech companies. It's becoming something that everyone can access and use. And that brings huge opportunities for people like you and me. So now I want us to take a deep dive. Let's talk about how AI is transforming different industries. Because like I said, this is not just for big tech companies, but I like to describe artificial intelligence as electricity. It cuts across multiple spheres and multiple domains, right? So whether you realize it or not, AI is already reshaping how we work, how we learn, and how we live. And I want us to dive into those examples. I'll take the first one, the one that everyone is freaking out about. And yes, you've guessed it, it's the jobs and the future of work, right? So AI is automating a lot of repetitive tasks. People are scared, I'm going to lose my job. What am I doing? Is this degree really worth it? And I'm pretty sure that you've heard such concerns, right? But the truth of the matter is AI is literally just freeing up time for humans to focus on creative and problem-solving tasks, right? So if we take into consideration, let's take customer service, for example. That is quite tedious. Customers always have complaints, and those complaints range in terms of importance, and a lot of those can just be shifted aside to chatbots. And that's what AI has allowed these companies to be able to do, to create chatbots that humans can interact with. And if the chatbot is not sufficient, you are able to speak to a consultant, right? So while AI will take over the certain tasks, it's creating new jobs now that require different skills. And then that means that people in those jobs can maybe analyze the data, move towards machine learning and those kind of jobs, and leave the tedious entry-level tasks to things that can be automated and coded, right? Now, the other one is one that I touched on, which is education. It is no secret that AI is changing how we learn. You've got platforms like Khan Academy that use AI-powered recommendation engines, and they also have digital agents where you can have your own personalized tutor. And this is the future of education. My prediction is I think we'll get to a stage where you have an AI agent that you enter university with, and you go and exit with it by the time you graduate, and this will be your personalized tutor that will know you. I, for one, am on the paid version of ChatGPT, and I've really been fascinated by how ChatGPT knows me and knows the things that I'm doing and so forth. It really amazes me. It feels like I've got a digital friend, if I can put it that way. And some people have really had concerns about how people will what you call protest and try and humanize these robots. And I think I'm getting to that stage. I digress. So in terms of healthcare, AI is being used to detect also diseases, a lot earlier. Now, when it comes to medical issues, some things are a matter of life and death. And if this was in the year 1800, I mean, the life expectancy back there, you are lucky if you live till 50, 60, but with artificial intelligence now, people like myself will be able to dream and make it a reality to live up until 100, because this technology is able to assist doctors and surgeons to diagnose health issues a lot quicker, but more accurately. And last but not least, I want us to touch on the finance industry. Of course, we all have bank accounts and we all interact with banks. And if you have not, you will sometime in the future. And AI is making its dent in this domain too, particularly within the fraud detection sphere. I was recently scammed on the 9th of August, 5,000 Rand. Someone swiped on with my card online. And fortunately, I did get my money back. But the thing is, this is something that could have been avoided. And this is where artificial intelligence comes in. This is how the finance industry is using artificial intelligence to make a change, which is through fraud detection, right? Now, if we move over to, I want us to relate artificial intelligence with us, young people who are present in this webinar. And I want to close with something that's very important, which is, how is AI specifically relevant to us as young people? Why should you care about AI, and what is in it for you as a young person? And the truth is, AI is shaping the job market. So if you want to have a career or to be able to provide for yourself and your family one day, it is in your best interest that you utilize and learn this piece of technology, because it is the single most important piece of technology that is going to change the world. The second thing is that we need to learn this technology so that we can build skills for the future. So learning about AI doesn't mean, once again, that you have to be a programmer. You can just learn how to work with the tools, understand how data works, or even become proficient in something as simple as prompt engineering. Prompt engineering, yes, sounds like a fancy word, but prompt engineering just simply means knowing how to ask the right questions to ChatGPT and getting the best results. And that is something that is considered to be a skill in today's time. So don't sleep on that. Now, one of the most exciting things about AI is that it's a great equalizer. And some people have got this hysteria. AI is going to make the global north, broaden the gap with the global south. I think AI is going to close that gap. The quicker we can get young people in front of laptops and get them connected to the internet, the quicker we can close that gap. Because I think AI is the ultimate equalizer, because now all of the information is accessible to everyone. And last but not least, AI can be a powerful tool for driving change within our communities. And that is from using AI to improve access to things like education, creating AI systems that can help manage scarce resources. If you live in South Africa, you know we've got a water challenge. So how can we leverage these pieces of technology to solve these societal issues that we have? So please, 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 as I close, don't think AI is just a trend or something catchy, something reserved for tech-savvy people. It's something that we as the next generation need to embrace. We need to build the future we want to live in. And we need to take this piece of technology, run with it, innovate with it, and use it to create new realities for ourselves and our communities. South Africans, people from Eswatini, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good day, everyone. I'm Sphiwe from Stratcom. Thank you, Mr. Chuma Memela. Anyone with a question, can you please use the chat bot for now so that Mr. Chuma can reply to that? Thank you.
We do have a question from Matea.
Go ahead, my brother. I'm all yours. Shoot for the head.
We can't hear for now. I'm sure you have to check your volume as well.
Mr. Matia?
Yeah, you're not audible, yes, but I can see your mic is not muted. So I don't know what it is exactly. Maybe then you can use the chat for the question.
I think Ms. Malope there also has a hand up.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for the lovely presentation. My question to you is, What tips do you have in terms of navigating through AI and trying to get a better understanding of artificial intelligence? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Malope, for the question. My advice to this question is always simple, my sister. You are going to need a certain level of curiosity to navigate today's landscape. Why am I saying this? There is so much innovation going on that what you learn in the classroom will never be sufficient. So I think what's important in today's time is not to teach people and to tell people to memorize things, but rather to teach people how to learn. And that's the best way that you're going to navigate this thing, is that you need to have a curious mind. You need to have a yearning for learning. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind, because the rate at which information is being rendered redundant or is being made accessible through a piece of technology, we are no longer concerned about what you know in your head, but what is going to be the determinant of success going forward is going to be what can you do with what you know, and not just what you can recall, but how can you take what you know and utilize it and provide value. And that's why I'm saying it's important to just learn how to learn and to have a curious mindset, because that is how you're going to best navigate the fight. That is how you're going to best navigate the place that we find ourselves in time at this stage. Thank you.
So we also have Stelumo Sashlope and Nobantu Numado. I think they can follow each other with the questions.
Cool. Stella?
Yes, please. Stelumo, please go ahead.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I want to ask, how can you integrate AI into a system? Like, how do you go about? Like, there is a system that's if I want to integrate AI, it's an ERP system. So maybe you can help me in that one. Like, how do you go about, like, to integrate artificial intelligence into a system?
Okay.
Thank you.
That was Sicelo, right? Cool. Sicelo, thank you very much for, that was you, my good sir. Okay, cool. Thank you very much for the question, my brother. Deeply appreciated. Maybe as a disclaimer, I should have said this. I'm not a developer. I'm not one of your tech geeks, and I think I did hint there, and hopefully my brother at the end, given that he's a software developer, we can repose that question. But I'll tell you this. Goes back to what I said. All of the information is accessible. What I would suggest that you do is that you reach out to an AI developer, right? Because that is their sort of field of expertise. Alternatively, if I didn't know an AI developer, then very simple, prompt engineering once again. I've gained so much just engaging with ChatGPT and other large language models. And what I would do is that I would tell Chat, hey, Chat, I've got this ERP system. Here it is. If you've got code for it, here is the code. Tell it, I would like to integrate AI into this system, and I would like this AI to do A, B, and C. That is a prompt. ChatGPT will then take into consideration what you've said and give you an answer. Now, of course, that answer it might have some errors, given that, of course, this technology is not perfect, but it'll give you a sense of direction in terms of where to go. And then you would have to use alternative methods to debug that. That's how I would do it as a non-technical person. But I think your best bet is consulting someone who's an AI developer, and you can definitely learn a lot from that. Last but not least, my brother, YouTube is always your friend. Whoa. I cannot stress how much knowledge I've gained just surfing YouTube. There is so much free information that people are putting out there in the form of content, and I can guarantee you there is a video which says how to integrate AI into an ERP system. So I challenge you to go and do that. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you.
And
Thank
then
you.
we have Nobantu.
Hi everyone. So my quick question, right? So I like the fact that you spoke on the fact that you're a researcher and a consultant, right? And
Cool.
Pardon?
No, I'm saying cool.
Yeah, so just to draw some insights from you, right?
Cool.
We are obviously most likely in just widespread in various industries and sectors. What would, with what you know, right, on the ground, what do you think we can have an impact in the very same roles that we have? As you I like the fact that you also mentioned that it's not only just about the theory, but it's actually the practical side of it, right? And implementing that, and that's how you add value, I'd assume, on day one. So how would you suggest that in the very same industries that we find ourselves working in to just have an impact and to be part of that transformation journey within the companies that we work for?
Cool. Thank you so much, Ms. Nomalo. Deeply, deeply appreciate that question. It's very simple, my sister. I was listening to a talk by the CEO of NVIDIA, right? And he said something so profound. He said that if he had sat on that stage 10 years ago, everyone would have been saying that you need to take your kids to school to study programming. But he said that through the power of artificial intelligence, that has changed, and we are now all developers. And that is something that's very true. What artificial intelligence is doing is that it's democratizing coding and software development and making coding exactly what it is, which is just a language to communicate with computers, right? You ask any software developer, they'll tell you the code is how you communicate with the computer. It's simply just a language. Now they've made that into text, which is phenomenal for people like me and you. So the question, to answer your question now, it really just boils down to how you can add value to companies, right? So I can never solve the problems within your field because the advantage that you have over someone like myself is that you've got something called domain knowledge. Domain knowledge is the expertise. You know more about your field than I know, and I know more about my field than you know. Now we've all got access to the same technology. So the real question is, how can you take what is available there, look at your role that you play in your current company, and how can you add value? We can make an example about Stratcom Media, for instance. They are an AI and digital marketing agency, if I'm saying it correctly. That is something unique because most people are just a communications company, a marketing company. But what have they done? They are leveraging AI to do this. I'll tell you another way that I've found a way of adding value just into my life. I've always wanted to know how to code, but I never had the desire to sit there and actually learn code. But last month, I built a fully functional website using artificial intelligence and just prompting. Now how can this be beneficial to you? There's a lot of unemployment going around, and a lot of startup companies and SMEs don't actually have websites. This is a skill that I can now offer simply because I was just playing around with a piece of technology. So the horizon is so broad. It's just crazy. And this is why I say learn how to learn, have a curious mindset, and just play around with the technologies. You don't know what gold mine you'll stumble on. Thank you very much for your question, my sister. I hope that answers it.
Thank you.
So just as an update on the chat conversation, I think we have a promise from Mr. Khuzwayo to deal with that question on ERP system and how to integrate it, how to integrate AI. So he promises to deal with that later when he comes in. And then Matteo, is quite a question related to what you mentioned earlier. AI will not take your job, but someone who uses AI will. So he's asking, are there any policies to regulate the users, creating brackets for evil people? and inconsiderate people to safeguard people who are not aware of what is happening. Also, does AI serve only the businesses or does it serve the companies to minimize costs and maximize the revenue at the expense of employment? And when it is said that it will make people focus on the areas of creativity, it means that everyone should be able to be creative or engineer. Does the AI account for only smart people and wipe out people that are not that intellectual, or it assumes that every human kinds are smart? Yeah, so
Cool.
that was I was trying to read. So it's quite
No,
quite
no, not a
question.
problem, not a problem, not a problem. That's accurately captured, my brother. Not a problem, not a problem. AI will not take your job. Okay, regulation, right? Mr. Matia, let me tackle your first question, my brother. Thank you very much. Insofar as AI regulation is concerned, I'm going to be very honest with you. Yes, there are regulations that the EU, the global north are working on. And of course, the global south and Africa as a whole is lagging insofar as this is concerned, right? But the question is, how do you regulate such a piece of technology? And how do you weigh the two between safety and innovation? Because the fact of the matter is there's risk associated with everything, right? You jump in a car, every time you jump in a car, you risk dying. Every time you jump in a ring as a boxer and you box, you risk dying, right? But at the end of the day, it's still a sport. You jump in an aeroplane, it could crash. You risk dying, but you have to get to a destination in an hour and a half. So the same is true with this technology. The technology itself is neither good nor bad. So we must be very careful about demonizing the technology. What we need to be concerned about is how do people use the technology? And I don't know what we can do about criminals. I think if we want to regulate this piece of technology, then we need to regulate the technology companies to make sure that there's a way that they can unplug these things or to mitigate actors who want to engage in nefarious activity that is going to be at the detriment of the public, right? Otherwise, if we think we are going to regulate people at the individual level, we can forget. There's just too many people, and the technology is too accessible for us to regulate people at the individual level. What governments can do is to regulate tech companies to make sure that they create this technology responsibly. And that's why we've got organizations such as AI for Good. That's why you've got organizations such as Microsoft, which are looking deeply into things like ethical AI. It's for such reasons. And then to your second question, my brother, does AI account for everyone? And is AI just for business or just for people? At the end of the day, we live in a capitalistic society. We cannot run away from that. The fact of the matter is business is going to utilize this technology the same way that you are using this, you are using a laptop, you are using a smartphone, and you are using the internet. There are a lot of jobs that have been cut. Previously we would have had to fly to Eswatini, book a venue, have you guys there. We would all have had to use transport to get to the venue. How many jobs have we cut out simply by jumping on this platform? And the same thing is true with the piece of technology. We cannot demonize a piece of technology. We all have to evolve as human beings. We can't say cars are bad because we let go of horse riding, right? And the same thing is true. We can't say electrical cars are bad because we are moving away from combustion cars. So what we need to do is to have a pro-technology approach and look at how can we help people transition into the fifth industrial revolution, so to speak, but not to look back and say, but this is going to result in job losses. As I highlighted in my first slide, yes, 85 million jobs are going to be lost. Correct. But a new 97 million jobs are going to be created. And these are jobs that require, of course, people to be upskilled. And that's what we need to help people to do, to upskill themselves so that they can fill these new jobs and not be stuck in the past. Thank you very much, my brother. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much, Chuma. Thank you so much. I think
Thank you so much, Susan. I think Mr. Matia had their hand from the previous round.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure if it's the one. I think it's the one that we addressed. I think you will have to know. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chuma. You have addressed most of the issues that people have in terms of AI. We do know that
Ms. Mugadi.
It's just I think it's a network issue from where they are. So I would think we are ready for the next speaker.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, guys. Appreciate it.
Mr. Memela, I really appreciated that. It was quite engaging, and I think we needed more time, of course, by the look of things. But we have 3 speakers, so I think we need to move to the next one now quickly. Thank you very much. Is that Boipelo?
Yes, good morning.
Morning, madam. Welcome. I'm doing the boss's job now to welcome you. Otherwise, I think we are ready for you, madam. Please take us through.
No problem. I'm just quickly going to share my screen.
okay. I think just so we can get our participants to know. Our next presenter is Boipelo Malope. She is a data analyst. I think our webinar poster highlighted that it is a AI and data analytics webinar. So we are going to be learning about what data analytics is and the data analytics process and maybe real world examples of data-driven decision making. Boipelo Malope is a founder of Immaculate Group, sorry. She's also a data analyst. She's a virtual assistant. She's a website designer. She's a champion for holistic wellness and empowerment. So she'll be walking us through data analytics today. As we mentioned before, please feel free to jot down your questions. And I think maybe just so we save time, can we actually just jot down our questions on the chat so that when we address these questions, they're addressed quickly instead of probably just raising our hands at the end of the speaker or the presentation. So please do feel free to use the chat bot, and then every other question will be addressed as the speaker is done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Firstly, I would love to start by thanking the organizers for inviting me as a speaker today. I am truly honored and truly grateful for the opportunity. Secondly, I am extremely excited to be here to talk about a topic that has not only contributed towards shaping my career, but a topic that has the potential to transform so many industries across the globe. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is data analytics. As introduced, I am Boipelo Malope. I'm a data analyst, virtual assistant, website designer, and proud owner of Immaculate Group, a brand focused on holistic wellness and empowering others through technology to achieve their full potential. As a virtual assistant, I provide remote administrative and business support to my clients from different industries. The role of a virtual assistant can vary widely depending on the needs of my clients, but my tasks generally include project management, social media management, data entry, bookkeeping, scheduling meetings, managing calendars, inquiries, and handling emails. As a website designer, I work on creating visually appealing and user-friendly websites that align with the client's brand and business goals. This role involves designing the layout or structure of the website, choosing fonts, colors, and images, incorporating user interface and user experience design to make the website functional, and integrate features like contact forms, e-commerce tools, and social media links. My journey has taken me through diverse fields. I have a background in sports, fashion, pageantry, film, and television. And throughout these experiences, one thing has always been consistent: my passion for learning and helping others, and leveraging on technology to make an impact. As a data analyst, I use data to help businesses make more informed business decisions and optimize their operations. So in today's session, I will be sharing the basics of data analytics, the different types of data analytics. I will then provide insights into how these tools can be applied in various sectors. We'll also look at various examples of data analytics. We'll also touch on how you can start your own journey and the future of data analytics, and then we will conclude with the Q&A session at the end. So before we dive deeper into data analytics, it's important to understand how it differs from data science. These two fields are often used interchangeably, but they serve distinctive purposes. Data science is more exploratory, while data analytics is more focused. So let's look at an example. Data science focuses on creating models, algorithms, and predictions using statistical methods. So for example, let's say a production company in South Africa. Let's say a production company wants to predict the success of its upcoming film at Stratcom. A data scientist would gather historical data on movie performance, including genres, actors, directors, release dates, and marketing budgets. Furthermore, they will use machine learning algorithms to build a predictive model. And then these predictive models will help the company make decisions about how much money to invest in marketing, or whether or not to greenlight certain projects. Data analytics, on the other hand, focuses on drawing insights from existing data and making data-driven decisions. So let's say an online retail store wants to know how they can improve their customer satisfaction. A data analyst will look at feedbacks in sales to identify trends and patterns. Let's say they notice that customers frequently complain about long checkout times and often spend the most times in the electronic session. Based on this analysis, the data analyst will make recommendations, and therefore the store will decide to open more checkout lanes during peak hours and expand the electronic session, improving both customer satisfaction and sales. So what exactly is data analytics? In simple terms, data analytics is the process of examining raw data in order to make meaningful insights. It's about transforming numbers, statistics, and raw facts into actionable decisions. Now, data is everywhere, and that's something that we need to keep in mind. So every time you log onto Facebook, Instagram, Google, LinkedIn, you watch a show on Netflix or Showmax, you stream music on Spotify or Apple Music, or you use your smartwatch, or simply you shop online, you are already creating data. And businesses basically use this data to understand you better. So from what type of products you like, your preferences, to the type of content you might be interested in, this is all driven by data analytics. Data analytics is widely applied in various areas such as business, finance, healthcare, film and television, logistics, sports, and many more. So ask yourself, why is data analytics important? It helps organizations improve their decision-making, it enhances efficiency, and allows companies to stay competitive. There are different types of data analytics and each serve a unique purposes. There's descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, prescriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and semantic analytics. Descriptive analytics basically asks you what happened. So it looks at historical data to tell you what happened in the past. For example, a clothing store might analyze last year's sales to see which months were the most profitable. Diagnostic analytics asks you, why did it happen? It goes a step further and tells you why something happened. So for instance, a company might analyze customer feedback to find out why there was a spike in returns after launching a new product.
Sorry, Boipelo, sorry.
Yeah.
We apologize. We can't see your slides this side. I'm not so sure if they're moving. Please, just so we follow through, please just check if it's still sharing.
Yes, it is still sharing on my side. Let me stop sharing and then start it again. Can you see it now? Hello?
Yes, we can see it. I think they were not moving. And also that we are seeing the notes page at the bottom of the slide.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think we have moved.
Is it moving now?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. As I was saying, predictive analytics will ask you what will happen. So we use statistical models and machine learning to focus what is likely to happen in the future. So an example of this is when Amazon predicts the next product you might want to buy based on your browsing history. The fourth one is prescriptive analytics. What should we do? So this recommends actions you should take to achieve a desired outcome. So for instance, healthcare providers might use this type of analytics to suggest the best treatment plans based on patient data. And the last one, semantic analysis. What does this mean? So a common use of semantic analysis in data analysis is sentiment analysis, which identifies the emotional tone behind a body of text. This is often used to analyze customer opinions, market trends, or brand perceptions. An example of this would be analyzing your social media posts based on your likes, shares, reactions, or engagement. Now, the data analytics process. The data analytics process is made up of four crucial steps, and the steps are as follows. The first one is the process of collecting raw data from various sources like transaction logs, customer feedback, surveys, or social media platforms. Once you have your raw data, you need to clean it. This simply means removing any duplicates, fixing errors, and organizing it into a format that's usable. After cleaning it, you can start to analyze it. This is where you use tools like Excel, Tableau, or programming languages like Python. So basically, analysts use statistical models, tools, processes to spot trends, patterns, and correlation. And finally, you then need to interpret your results and make decisions based on your findings. So one thing you need to keep in mind is that data analytics is not just about numbers, it's also about storytelling. So basically what this means is that you put your findings on a visually appealing dashboard that summarizes these findings and provides recommendations. It is also important to remember that before we start with the data analytics process, we need to go through the research process in order to determine what exactly are you looking for. So essentially, as a data analyst, this is where you sit down with your client and ask them enough questions to get a better understanding of their needs, what they're looking for, so that by the time you collect the data, you clean it, you analyze it, and you interpret it, you already have a clear vision on what exactly are you working on. Now, to see data analytics in action, let's look at real-world example, Netflix.
Analytics at Netflix is the backbone. It's everything that we do. It's how we measure what we're doing, how we measure where we're going, where we find new opportunities to test things, or where we find problems to solve.
Netflix has been a data-driven company since the beginning, back in the DVD days, and we've really advanced our ability to use data in many different ways across business organizations as Netflix has grown.
If you ask most companies, they'll tell you they're a data-driven company and analytics is important. I think the difference with Netflix is that we really live these values.
Once we find a great metric that measures what we want to do, how do we find out what drives it? So what are the components that cause us to be more or less successful? And then finally, how do we take all of that data and make it available to people to answer their questions whenever they need to?
And it's a great responsibility too, to make sure that our analytics teams are focused on only the very highest impact projects that are going to move Netflix forward and make a better product for our customers.
So ultimately, I see the role of analytics in any company being to arm decision makers with relevant and actionable information. That can be in the form of metrics, tools, one-off insights, but ultimately we want to come together and make better decisions.
Self-service aspect of our data tools is one of the most critically important aspects that I think is often underrated. The most important thing is that people be able to get the answer that they need when they want it without waiting for my time to be free.
Especially important now that we're a global company. You know, if you're a marketer in Brazil, in the Sao Paulo office, or if you're in BizDev in Singapore, you need data to make your decisions and to figure out how do you do your best possible job.
We don't think of ourselves as a service organization, and instead we really think about us being the ones who help lead decisions from the business teams and have those decisions be guided by the data that we have at hand. The creative freedom that we have at Netflix is something that has really inspired me throughout my time here and been very, very consistent.
What makes me excited about working here is actually the culture and the people.
It's just really interesting to see the evolution of the problems that we tackle and just the new and interesting ways in which we're trying to leverage data.
It's going to sound a little cliche, but analytics is the fuel that powers Netflix.
So basically, Netflix uses data analytics to provide personalized recommendations. It collects data on what you watch, how long you watch, what you skip, and even the time of day you watch. Based on this data, Netflix then recommends shows or movies that match your preferences. Basically, through data analytics, Netflix is able to keep the users engaged, ensure that they watch more content, and stay subscribed to their platform. Another example of data analytics is this particular dashboard that I created using Microsoft Power BI and Excel. Basically, I was analyzing the South African business market for the year 2023. What it basically highlights, it gives us an overview of the total registered businesses in South Africa as of 2023. You would see that there's 3.5 million registered businesses. However, there's a 35% of informal businesses that are not registered. It also shows us, based on the demographics of business ownership, that there's only 15% of these businesses owned by the youth. It also highlights the distribution of registered businesses by provinces in South Africa, with Gauteng, KZN, Western Cape, Eastern Cape, and Limpopo being amongst the top 5 provinces. And based on the gender representation in the South African ICT industry, there's only a 25% female representation. And in terms of market share of the different fields in the ICT industry, software development, cybersecurity, data analytics are amongst the top 3 fields in this sector. However, cloud computing, telecommunications, and AI are slowly making their way up. Now, if I'm being entirely honest, I didn't start out as a data analyst. In fact, if I'm being extremely honest, I didn't even see myself in the tech industry. However, one of the reasons why I chose this career path was my analytical skills passion for problem solving, and the curiosity in the way data analytics transforms raw information into meaningful insights. I wanted to be part of a field that not only makes decisions more informed, but also opens doors to innovation and change. This is what motivated me to dive deep into data analytics. I studied business and information technology at the University of the Free State, completed a digital skills for digital jobs and businesses program at EBL Institute of Business and Technology, and data analytics at the University of Cape Town. If you want to branch out into data analytics, I would suggest either starting out into a data science program, and then you branch out into data analytics, and you can always study through platforms like Udemy, Google, Coursera, and ALX Africa, and also YouTube offers various learning paths. Now, to succeed in data analytics, there are several key skills and tools you need to master. It's important to have software skills like critical thinking, problem solving, and communication. You need to keep in mind that you need to be able to interpret the data and explain your insights to people who might not necessarily have a technical background. On the technical side, you should learn programming languages like Python, R for data manipulation, SQL for querying databases, and visualization tools like Tableau or Power BI to present your findings. Now, another great example of data analytics is our social media platforms. We're able to look at various insights like demographics, location, age, engagement, reach, likes, shares, and view times on our social media platforms. But do we really know what to make from these? Do we know how to interpret the information and how businesses can leverage from this type of information? Now let's look at the following example. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you're a digital content creator and you see the following insights. One, you need to ask yourselves, how would you interpret them? Two, what does the following information mean? Three, how do you think the following affects you as a content creator or a business owner? And four, would you only focus on the highest percentages and base your analysis on just those percentages? So let's have a look. We've got United States at 16%, Nigeria at 8%, India at 6%. In terms of gender, there's only 36% of males and 63% of females viewing your content. In terms of the age range, we've got 25% between the ages of 18 and 24. There's a 29% between the ages of 25 and 34. And there's only 27% between the 35 and 44 age range. So what this typically means, it gives you an overview of who is looking at your content, where are they located, what is their age range. And you can even take it a step further where you look at the view times, and this will then give you a clear indication of when should you be posting, what type of content should you be creating, who this content is particularly for. But you'd find that a lot of times, a lot of people don't know what to do with this type of social media metrics. Now, my next slide, you will see I had analyzed the information, and if I was working with the client closely, I would then need to recommend what they could potentially do. So you'd find, like, I'd say, since the highest viewership is from the USA, and they should also ensure that the content is relevant and appealing to the audience, because with Nigeria being at 8% and India at 6%, they're also playing a significant role in the segment, which is essential to incorporate elements that appeal to these regions. So including diverse examples of your content and tailored to the interest of these countries could significantly boost engagement. You'd find that...
Sorry again, but Boipelo, I think we are still having a challenge with the slides. We're still on the types of data analysis. Actually, we're not on the current slide you're speaking to.
Really?
Yeah, if you can move, I think, yeah, the presenter mode didn't do it.
So
So, yeah, so I
you
think
haven't
that's
been seeing my slides all along.
yes. Actually, we've been seeing the first slide, and then now this one, and now this one. It means they're not moving on our side.
Okay, please
Or
give me a minute. Let me share my screen again. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, he's able to see the screen.
Okay. Thank you for that. So this is the metrics that I was referring to. I'm not sure if you had already seen it, but this was the reference that I was talking about. And basically I was explaining the analysis in terms of that metrics. But nonetheless, based on time, let us move on to the next slide. So now, in terms of the future of data analytics, looking ahead, data analytics will continue to grow and evolve alongside AI and machine learning. These technologies will allow us to analyze data in ways that were never possible before, uncovering deeper insights and automating decision-making processes.
please move manually again. It didn't move.
Sorry?
If you can move it manually again, it didn't move on our side. So I think we're still on analysis.
So you're not seeing the current slide?
Yeah, I think it's the next one on the future. Yeah, we're not seeing that one. We're seeing the analysis. Yes, we can see now. Okay, it's gone again, but yeah, we could see it.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. So industries like healthcare, retail, and finance are already using these advancements, and the need for skilled data analysts is only going to increase. Conclusion, data analytics is a powerful tool that enables businesses and individuals to make smarter, data-driven decisions. So whether you're just starting out your career or looking to expand your skill set, I encourage you to explore this field. Please note, I would love to offer my skills as a data analyst to 2 SMEs and as a virtual assistant to 2 SMEs free of charge. All you need to do is send me an email with details of your company, how long you've been in business for, and what you need assistance with. Please find me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I am Boipelo Malope on all social media platforms, and you are more than welcome to send me an email on bmalope@yahoo.com or malope@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you for that offer, Ms. Malope. Can you move to the last slide on conclusions? I think that's where you have your details. Thank you.
Yes, can you see the last slide?
We're still on the future slide.
Really?
I think they need to move. Yeah, you know, that's even a nicer slide. So yes, there's the email address there. Yeah.
Can you see my details now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I think this is a perfect example of technology showing us flames.
Thank you so much, Boipelo. Yeah, technology today is on a different level. I think maybe from the chat, we have 2 questions. The first one being, how can one become a virtual assistant? We remember that you did mention how one can get into data analytics by studying data science and the like. But some of our participants would like to know how one can become a virtual assistant.
So ALX is offering a free program on virtual assistant. So you can essentially just go through an 8-week program on that. But also YouTube has is a great learning platform for that as well. But send me an email and let's see how I can help you.
Thank you. And then the next question is for the companies or the businesses where you find that maybe the directors are not so keen in terms of this way of collecting data. They can't even do the surveys or feedback collection methods that are in line with this. How then can a person convince their team or their managers to take on this way of collecting data?
So essentially, I would recommend that the team should take note of the data in terms of, their customers, their purchasing, the history, how many sales they're making. I think it's extremely beneficial for business owners and companies across the globe to know this type of data, because then you can, for example, tailor your marketing based on your clients' needs. But in terms of encouraging them, I think one, they could hire out someone to do the work for them, or two, so let's say hypothetically speaking, you owning a company online. So at the end, where after the checkout and everything, you could then automatically link a survey to that to say, how was your experience? And that will then automatically collect the data for you.
Thank you so much. I think we'll move on to the people that have their hands. The first one being Chuma, our last speaker, Memela.
Ms. Malope, thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. But unfortunately, we didn't see your beautiful slides. I know you know how to cook slides. So sincere apologies on your behalf for that. Technology was technologing, but that's fine, my sister. We listened to the presentation. Very wonderful. Well spoken. My question, my sister, is what would you say to a young person as a piece of motivation to drive them towards this field? It's a field that I also feel very strongly about. Of course, you can't dissociate AI and data, but as a piece of advice or motivation, what would you say to a high school scholar in terms of, trying to nudge them towards this scarce skill and skill for the future? I think that's my question. Thank you very much, my sister.
Thank you very much. Before I answer your question, I just want to highlight that I love the fact that you linked AI with data analytics. I think it's so important that we need to keep in mind that all these fields within the ICT industries are somehow interchangeable. So you'd find that you a software developer, but you need data analytics. You are in cybersecurity, but data analytics still plays a role. So thank you very much for noting that. My advice would be, one, just start, and two, have the willingness to learn. I think that should be the base point of starting any career. Once you have the willingness to learn, you will then put in the effort and the time to actually learn and master that particular skill. So in terms of data analytics, I would then say they need to research and they need to find some sort of understanding in terms of, should they find themselves in this particular field, how would they contribute and how would they make an impact? I mentioned in one of my slides that there's a scarcity of women in tech. So this is a very male-dominated industry, but let's not walk blindly in it and say, just because the stats are showing that, females in tech are so low that you're just entering the field for the sake of just entering it, or for the sake that, you know, you were part of this conversation and you got inspired, but really just try to understand the sort of impact and the sort of change you want to have in the industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malope.
Thank you so much. I think we have another question from Ocean Masik Kotoze. Please ask your question.
Thank you. Hi, Boipelo.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. Great presentation.
Thank you.
So I just want to ask, so I'm currently in the field of finance, but I'm very enthusiastic about data analytics and technology, especially AI as well. You mentioned something about Power BI, which is what I work mostly on, and you also mentioned Udemy. Is there any recommended courses that could take someone onto that advanced level when it comes to Power BI? Currently, I'm using the Udemy platform, but it's really hard to know which courses I do for you until you maybe find yourself in that course, you realize that it's not really giving you what you want. But just from you, is there any recommended courses that one could take?
May I ask, on Udemy, are you doing specifically data analytics, or what exactly are you studying?
No, I have access to almost every course there.
Okay, so I would suggest you either start with data science or move straight into data analytics on Udemy. But like I mentioned, YouTube is also a great learning platform, and obviously then that's free of charge. So leverage on YouTube, but go for online courses. So ALX Africa is also an amazing platform. It also does have a 8-week data analytics program. So leverage on such opportunities.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Siyacela Musa, you may ask your question, sir.
Thanks. Hi, Malope. I want to please maybe can I take you a little bit back? I didn't get you when you were explaining on predictive analytics, and that's where I'm really interested in predictive analytics. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me just quickly share the slide just to make it easier for you to quickly have a look. So predictive analytics basically highlights what will happen. So we basically use statistical models and machine learning to focus what is likely to happen in the future. So Amazon, for example, predicts the next product you might want to buy based on your browsing history. So if you are running an online store, you would look at what your customers are buying more, when are they buying it, and the quantity of the number of products they are buying. And then based on that, you will then analyze the data and you would know as a business owner what to do next. So that's basically predictive analytics.
So also, Ms. Malope, just to confirm that we'll be sharing the slides afterwards to the participants.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we are done. Thank you so much, Boipelo. It was such an insightful conversation that we just had. Your presentation was lovely. We could follow through in as much as we didn't follow through in terms of the slides, as Chuma was saying, because you were so well articulated. One person asked that you repeat the 8-week program, the site for the 8-week program. And From there, we will introduce our.
The slides for what again?
Sorry, the site for the 8-week program for the virtual assistant.
Oh, okay. So that is ALX Africa. So virtual assistant and data analytics are both available on ALX Africa. So ALX Africa, Google, Udemy, Coursera, and then your universities. So University of the Free State, University of Cape Town, all offer virtual assistant and data analytics.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we will move straight into our next speaker, Sphiwe Khuzwayo, who is an IT technician. He is a software developer and the founder of SK Computers and Great Minds. He is the co-founder of Ongoti Tech Solutions, and he's the digital education manager at Go Digital SA Foundation. He will be speaking or talking about the career opportunities that are presented by these new technologies that we have gone through, which is AI and data analytics. I did say that he is the digital education manager, so he will be walking us through the career paths that are provided by AI and data analytics and the skills required to pursue these careers, and probably also just the educational resources and the training opportunities are presented by AI and data analytics. Sphiwe, welcome. Please go right ahead, sir.
Thank you for that introduction, madam. Yeah, as mentioned, my name is Khuzwayo. Well, people they call me SK. I always start my introduction. Can I double check? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. So yes, Khuzwayo is the name. I was told I was from the Khuzwayo clan. I don't know if that is the truth or what, but I'm well known as SK. So I always start with the same story so that I'll grab your attention, guys. So SK doesn't stand for Sphiwe Khuzwayo. Simply means Sphiwe Kai. Kai is my late son. So hence my friend was like, hey, you need to name me SK. I was like, okay, let me take that. Hence, that is when SK Computers was born in 2018, where I decided, no, let me tap into the space of the tech industry, where I started to familiarize myself using a computer since 2009. When I was still in high school, no one taught me how to open a computer. I taught myself that. So I usually like to play games. So my brother would make me to type all his books. He's a writer, you know, so for me to be able to play a game. So to cut the long story short, I'm an IT technician as well as a software developer. Yes, I'm a within code alumni. I'm also to alumni as well. One has been in the industry, going slowly but surely. But yeah, so today, let's see how technology will humble us, if it will humble us. But firstly, let me elaborate on the question that was posed, how to integrate AI into an application. Firstly, an AI, it's a model that you train. Your ChatGPT is a model that was built and that was trained by those individuals. You have your copilots, a model that was trained by those individuals. Currently, my presentation, I wanna bring some sort of a vibe to it. I did my presentation using Copilot. From Copilot, I went to Word, and then from Word, I went to a PowerPoint presentation. How I was going through all those steps, I was integrating with Copilot in my Office 365, right? So whatever application that we have built and you want to integrate with your AI, be very specific. You need to select or choose a model that will meet your goals. That's the first thing that you need to do, right? So also, obviously, you need to make use of your SDKs. You need to tap in your APIs. That's where your communication is. Remember, guys, technology, AI specifically, is here to enhance our abilities. It's not here to, to build from scratch. It's to enhance those abilities because you can go to any open application, but if you don't know what you're going to be doing with it, definitely it's one ability. So I've just shared my screen. I am taking a risk. Going to be doing my presentation online. I hope everyone can see my screen. Can I get the thumbs up
Yes.
if my screen is visible? Yes, thank you.
This,
So
but it's not presenter mode.
Yes. So I'm going to be doing it live. So this is where I started my presentation. You see, here's my presentation from Copilot, from your Copilot. I went to Word. Here's my Word document. This is my presentation from Word document. And then I went on to do a PowerPoint presentation utilizing the AI. I was using Copilot. Now I'm putting my my presentation in a presentation mode. To double check, my screen is still showing off. 100%. Thumbs up, yes. Okay, so let's get straight to it. So today we are focusing on career opportunities in AI and data analytics, right? So my delivery is very simple. We are going to explore the future of work in the space of the technology. How are we going to do that? Let's look at the overview. So what is AI? AI is what involves creating systems that performs tasks typically require human intelligence. Remember, it's us who build those applications. It's us who build the models. AI are different type of models that requires your human intelligence. So yes, people will lose jobs. Why? Because yes, if the intelligence is not there, then you might be able to to then put yourself in a risk of losing a job. But guess what? If you understand and you are able to tap into the space, making sure you have this willing to learn mindset, which I think Madam Boipelo mentioned, right? So also we're going to be looking at data analytics, which involves your examining your data set. What is data? What we are doing currently, we are creating data. Why are we doing this? Because we want to see the end goal of how can one be leveraged in the tech space. Data is everywhere. Data is everything. The moment you wake up, the moment you take your phone, you go to your WhatsApp, so you go everywhere. You are building data, right? So the importance of AI and data are to transform industries. Why? Those industries need to make smarter decisions. Why data is growing rapidly, especially in the space of tech. Yesterday on radio, I mentioned that startups, they are the ones who are tapping into the space of technology. They are the ones who are coming up with innovative solutions. You know why? They are utilizing more of technology. They are the ones who are the brains, other than the old companies like your legacy companies that I won't mention. But startup companies, they contribute a lot in the tech space, so this is something why they contribute a lot. They do a lot of research. Mr. Memela mentioned the importance of research. He's a researcher also himself. So now let's tap into the career path. I'll start with AI and then I'll move on to data analysis. Right. So in career path of AI, it's simple. It's your machine learning. It's your data scientist. What is the role of being a machine learning engineer? I think Uzama asked the question that I think we will relate to your machine learning. Are you able to develop the algorithm that enables machines to learn from data? So now you see, you can't do machine learning without understanding the importance of having the data. Whatever you do, there's a data. Every business, every startup, there is a data. You cannot just wake up and say, I'm doing this. It needs to come from somewhere, right? So, and then your skills, obviously, a little bit of proficient programming, understanding machine frameworks, opportunities, the companies, research, and so on. And now let's look at data. Data scientists are the ones that need to analyze the complexity of data. Why Boipelo, they are doing this to us who are doing startups, because they need to make us, there's whatever decision that we make, they are informed. So why data is so important, I think no one want to go to a loss if you are opening a company, if you are going to business, no one want to make losses. So hence, if you are looking for a job, you are being interviewed, especially in the tech space, there are tech interviews. We need to test your skills. A paper alone is just a paper. Without the skills, it's quite of an issue. Also, we are continuing looking at the career path in AI research scientist, becoming Mr. Chuma, going in the AI research space. But the story Chuma has, it's very fascinating, guys, because he didn't start it as our SK, you just went through and did your technically, that's why I started. I did technical support, your desktop support, low. Let me now move and build this application. I'm always troubleshooting and so on. So what is the role of being a research? Conduct research to advance the fields of artificial intelligence so that we can have the deep understanding, right? So the skills is to have a deep understanding and strong research background. So now when we are talking about research, if you are utilizing AI, you are utilizing your ChatGPT, your Copilot, your Meta, whatever open application that you are utilizing, automatically you are doing a research. Do you understand what you are doing? Last weekend, we hosted a hackathon whereby we're looking for solutions with the students, different students from a DUT within code, UKZN, and so on. So they needed to first understand the problem statement, which was a very critical thing to everyone. Sometimes you can give me a problem statement, but I need to dive too deep and understanding it. Once you understand the problem statement, your solution is automatically there. So this is how understanding or how researchers does their work. I think everyone is a researcher. The first that you'll go to LinkedIn and look for SK, then you automatically are doing a research. Moving on, I put on a AI product manager, right? What is the role? You manage the development and deploy in any AI product. So I myself, I decided like, no, I'm no longer gonna be doing a website. You know why? It can take me 15 minutes to write a website, but someone should take him or her like 3 hours, 4 hours, even days, and so on, depending on how well do you understand AI. So I advocate in AI a lot. So understanding the AI technologies is goes along with your project management. So this is one of the skills. Why you need to understand those skills. There's a program called AI Emakhaya where we go to the townships, to the rural areas, making sure people are equipped in understanding artificial intelligence. Why are we doing this? We are bridging the educational gap. So opportunities, startups. So if you see in my slides with regards to opportunities, startups, they're always there. Tech companies, they're always there, right? So because we are in that space. Coming back to data, Boipelo did mention data analyst to interpret data and turn it into information that can offer ways to improve business. It's simple as that. And then obviously your skills, it's your Excel, your SQL, data visualization tools. When they say data visualization tools, this is where now you go and integrate with your AI. So depending on the open source that you're going to be using, this is where you have to now understand your Power BI, understanding how can you take your dashboard, how can you integrate with your SQL, your Excel. And the most important thing that I usually see on people who are doing data, Boipelo mentioned, you need to ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. When you ask more questions, this is where you are getting more answers without you having to like going too deep. Once you ask a question, automatically you get an answer. Then you are able to go and then build your management system, opportunities, marketing, finance, and then your operational state. This is why people are collecting data, they're analyzing data, because they don't want to lose in business, but they want to grow their businesses, right? So let's look at business intelligence analysis. I want to become one as well. I want to become one as well. You know why? Because a lot of startup companies, they are suffering from understanding specifically their own business model that they are saying they are building. You know why? They lack research. That's the first thing. Moving on, your data engineer, and then you have your statistician, right? Okay. What is the role of being a data engineer? You need to prepare. That's why you talk about big data now. Our engineer and so on, the skills, SQL, Python. And so once you're in the tech space, all these parts, right, they somehow relate to one another. So I came in as a technician. Now I'm becoming a software developer. I'm a software developer, but now I also want to go into business intelligence, So you see, once you get into the space, you are able to then now move all around, So moving on, let's look at the skills. The skills that are required for any AI careers, it's your programming languages. Yes, programming languages. Guys, when you talk about your Python, when you talk about your JavaScript, people sometimes they get afraid to hear the word programming, coding, what. I always say code is just a language. It's Zulu, it's Xhosa, it's your Swati, it's just a language. The main thing, are you able to solve problems? Are you a problem solver? Once like my boss, Mr. Sandile Matlaba, he's an accountant by profession, but you cannot tell him anyhow when you come to the tech space, when you're talking about your AI and everything, because why? He understood he's a problem solver, he's a critical thinker as well. So the languages are just communicating with your application, communicating with your computers and so on. So the most popular for statistics is your R, and then your Java is used for large scale applications. And then your mathematics is those A students, but now remember with AI, so which means we can then be able to utilize AI to also be able to become your A students, understanding the importance of problems using your calculus. Probabilities are for key of understanding data distribution and also be able to make a prediction. So skills required, machine learning, algorithm, data visualization, Power BI as well, so all these things, they somehow come together to be under one umbrella, right? I'll move on and yes, let us look at data manipulation, statistic analysis, and data visualization. I've mentioned before, I think the question that was being raised, especially when you're advocating on Power BI, your Microsoft tools for business analytics. So what I forgot to mention, and which something I don't want to mention for now until I achieve what I want to achieve. I'm also a Microsoft Learn student with 34 badges and 10 10 trophies. So I'm also a Microsoft student Learn. So whenever, especially in Durban, we usually go and showcase Microsoft tools and so on. So I'll also drop my details as well. So for whoever wanna tap into the space. So essentially, data manipulation is essentially conquering database. Obviously, it's SQL and your Excel, and then statistical analysis, SPSS, what they use for statistical analysis, and then your SAS for comprehensive tools of data management. Data visualization, I've just mentioned this as well. I'm moving very quickly because I'm looking at the time. And These are the skills required for data for people who want to tap into data. So the soft skills. The soft skills are the most important things. That's what while we're doing the mentorship to these students on over the weekend, we're giving them the soft skills because I even told the other group, okay, like you guys, you are working on a solution, but it's 5 of you guys. You are already opening your laptop. You wanna get into coding. I know you can code. I don't need your coding. I need your soft skills. How do you come about solving a problem? This is what is required. This is what like legacy companies are looking for. They are looking for people with soft skills because your tech skills, we have AI that we can now use to tap into that, So critical thinking, problem solving, and communication. So other teams, they couldn't win on this hack. You know why? Because they couldn't present, they couldn't present their solutions very well. Because when you present, you need to understand, are you presenting to a stakeholder? Are you presenting to end users? Who are you presenting to? So those are other things that are very important. And then for educational resources, your online courses, Coursera, you can see like there's a lot of them when you go online and books as well, and then you get your certification. And my colleagues have been mentioning YouTube. Yes, University of YouTube, it's your go-to as well. Yes, so just do a research on the online courses, understanding where do you want to tap to into the tech space, right? So as I've mentioned, online courses, books, and certification as well, and understanding where exactly are you going to, understanding your direction. Lastly, but not least, the training opportunities. Go to boot camps, go to hackathons, attend like sessions like this, online webinars, your workshops, and be open-minded to internships, guys. Because someone will get a qualification and then it doesn't do internship and what, and then go and do another qualification. Remember, it's just a paper. If it's still coming from university level, to me, it's still a paper. Without you tapping into the real work environment, it's still a paper, So understanding the importance of doing internships, it's very, very, very important. And always have that willing to learn mindset. So just to recap, in conclusion, talk about career path in AI and data analysis, and then we look at the overview of essential skills and the resources as well, educational resources. So yeah, I think a willing to learn mindset is your first step, understanding the world of tech space. People will say, hey, we are doing IT, hey, let's go and hack a bank. So guys, tech space is very broad, and it's growing each and every day. Each and every day is growing. I did the presentation yesterday, lying down on bed in a space of 15 minutes. Then I was done on my presentation, utilizing AI, understanding my deliverables. So if you are looking for Sphiwe Khuzwayo, you're looking for SK on LinkedIn, it's Sphiwe Khuzwayo, and Sphiwe SK Khuzwayo, and my email, I put that one for Go Digital, it's Sphiwe.Khuzwayo@goddigitalsa.today. So lastly, but not least again, guys, it was never a race. I always say it was never a race, but this is a journey. So thank you for the opportunity to Eswatini. Siyabonga kakhulu. I hope I've tried and be very brief, and I hope I've given enough. If there are any questions, and then we're gonna have that last minutes, and then I try to answer to my best capabilities. Thank you, colleagues. Over
Thank
to
you
you,
so
Ms.
much.
Liz. No, may go ahead, Ntokozo.
Thank you so much. I'm not so sure who I am cutting out because I'm not so sure if they also raised their hand. But thank you so much, SK. It means a lot. It was quite comprehensive. I felt like an IT guru myself while you were going through your going through your slides. We have a question from Nosipo, and she was asking, about the authenticity of job posts in a community. How can she use AI to check if these job posts are legit, and if there are things that she can do while building that?
Okay. So I think I did try and mention your API, right? So your APIs are the one that give you the credibility of okay, now this is a real deal, or this is a Chuma trying to do his own thing, you know. So understanding how does your API work, where do you gather your information from, you know? So now I think you need to go to these legacy companies that have been there for years. So in startups, you need to look at their credibilities online. You'll be able to go and check. So it doesn't now say like to other people like, okay, they've this much followers and following and so on. That doesn't work. That doesn't work because if I want to, I can increase my followers to a million of followers, you know, mimicking and yeah. So checking at the credibilities, making sure we understanding your APIs that you are using, where are you gathering your information from, right? So yeah, I don't know if I've answered correctly. And I always say, you know, people will always go into I think I have more than like 75 WhatsApp group chats. And now I'm like, hey, if you want communication, let's go to LinkedIn, you know. So people will, yeah, there are people who are in the industry and trying to do their own things as well. So understanding the APIs, yeah, I think that would be my best answer for now. But you can continue with the conversation with it's no simple. Yes. Okay.
Thank you. There's Andile Dlamini. Please ask your question.
Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to express my gratitude to Stratcom Media for actually hosting this webinar. I've picked up a lot of things from all of the speakers, and as someone who is just starting their journey in the data analytics field, I feel like I've learned so much from just this 2 hours that I've actually invested today. So my question to Mr. SK, are there any other resources, and actually just to all our speakers, are there any other resources that maybe you can share whereby one who's just trying to grow in their field can be able to access some of the skills to actually boost, you know, whatever they are learning. Usually you find that in the country, you know, we are hard of cash, but then maybe you'd find that based on people who already have some experience in the industry, you might have an in on some of the platforms that you could actually use besides YouTube, which could actually give us the resources and actually give us something credible that we could use to actually pick up our skills, maybe at cheaper fees, or maybe find that maybe some of the courses that are offered are free. Thank you so much.
Okay. I just posted now on the chat where Microsoft Lens offers this such as skills as well. And I'm also posting the question one stepping into the AI looking for low code and no code development. And Microsoft, they offer like your Power Pages, your website build, and like those platforms. So get to Microsoft Learn, and then you see a lot of courses that you can tap into. Yeah, so I've shared some links there. Yeah, I think I see also Mr. Chuma has raised his hand as well. So yeah, let's see Mr. Memela, your side.
SK, my brother, first and foremost, thank you very much for the comprehensive presentation. It was great. I definitely learned a lot. Of course, I know you are the expert in terms of careers within tech. For the benefit of the listeners back at home, this man every Monday delivers a talk on radio talking about such careers. So definitely from time to time I pop in. So yeah, I learn something new every time because there's so much in the field of tech that we don't know about. But to get to the question, my brother, I see a lot of opportunity within the field of artificial intelligence. And as a non-technical individual, you find that you've got domain knowledge and you see problems within your field, but AI is not at a stage where I can literally speak a software into existence yet. So my question to you is, who are the people do I need to look for in order to build solutions for me? Is it AI developers or is it just software developers that would do, right? Because it's not that I want to build the next Facebook or the next Amazon. I'm looking for people who are able to take something and integrate AI, something I like to call to AIify something, to just utilize AI within a solution so that it achieves a particular task. Who are those guys? What are the titles? What do you call them? So that I can be able to easily spot them. And I'm not the only one looking for them. Thank you very much, my brother.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Memela, for that. Okay, the reason why AI is to bridge that gap of about SK who are so-called software developers. We have your data engineers, and then you have, I'll mention Ozama Kumali, your digital marketer, like who are not in the tech space, but they want to build solutions for themselves as well. Hence, there was AI. But it's more advantageous so people like our SK that will be able to grasp very fast AI. So you yourself, you don't have to go to and look for SK. You can go to any open source or of AI and learn from there and build your own model. Remember, I mentioned that you when utilizing AI, it's a model that you need to train to your end goal. What is it that you are looking for? So AI basically is to eliminate people like SK or software developers as well, if they don't stay up to date in the tech space. Because you have Ubudo Ozama who will be able to utilize AI and build solutions for businesses, for everyone, right? So basically AI is in the tech space to bridge the gap of people who are not in the tech space. You know why? Because the world is evolving rapidly, and the tech space is very minimum, and it's very scary to some people, right? So hence, developers they decided to build those applications to also to be able to help others who are not within the tech space as well. I don't know if I've answered it correctly. Yeah. I see there's
Sorry.
still a hand. Yes, boy.
Can I just add on what you just said?
Yes, please.
I just wanted to say that we also need to keep in mind that if you're already running a business and you automate your process, that alone is already artificial intelligence being integrated in your system. So it doesn't necessarily mean that AI is something separate and machine learning is something separate. There are already existing tools that could just help you automate your processes, and through that, you're already integrating the field. Thank you.
Mhm.
No, thank you very much, my brother. I'm captured. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much, SK. Andile, I'm not so sure if you have a second question or you left your hand up at the time.
There's also another hand from Zama as well, I see.
I think, Sama, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Good morning, everyone. I trust that you're well. Hi, SK. I hope that you're well. I just want to just actually not even ask a question, but just rather to compliment this platform. It was quite informative and very engaging. So well done to all the speakers. Thank you to Stratcom for this very informative session. One thing that I do want to point out that I have learned through the session is that you are all demystifying that whole thing that not only is AI all about just taking about jobs and being real with the situations that are happening, but also showing us that literally anyone can do it from the comfort of their own home. It's just a matter of what is it that you want to do and how is it that you're going to go about doing it. So I just really want to just say thank you for that, because quite a lot of people are still stuck on the fact that to be in tech, you have to learn all about, Python or any other programs that are very, very technical driven. But it's all about actually how is it that you want to empower not only yourself, but other people. So I just want to just say thank you and well done again for such a great and informative session. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Zama. I'm gonna post on the chat to Peter. I just utilize the AI to answer your question. Yeah, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The proper example of real life answers and yeah, efficient. Thank you so much to all our speakers. We are so grateful as Stratcom. We really appreciate the time that you have taken and the efforts that you have put in all these presentations to make sure that we all understand what AI is and what data analytics are and the career opportunities that are there. AI and data analytics are technologies that are quickly evolving, and I think from the presentations we could figure that these are no longer optional. They are quite essential, especially because they are changing so many of the industries that we are in. Thank you so much. We will share the presentation, the consolidated presentation, to everyone's email address, those that could join and those that couldn't join. I believe this is an ongoing conversation. It is technology, so it has to be updated with each period. They did say we need to stay ahead and we need to learn. So I think we will have such sessions going forward. Thank you so much to all the speakers. I am really grateful. And Stratcom really is grateful for the time that you have taken. As technologies advances, we have learned that there's a demand for people who will harness the power of AI and data analytics. And I think this has been an eye-opening conversation to say the youth has a role to play in terms of learning these skills and learning these technologies, so that whether you're in medicine or you're in finance, you know something about AI and data analytics, so that because I think Khuma did mention that you are not going to be replaced by AI as the technology itself, but you'll be replaced by anyone that is actually using AI. So I think thank you so much for this. And Sphiwe did mention that these technologies are here to enhance our abilities, not build from scratch. So garbage in, garbage out. Let us try to make sure that as we use these technologies, we put in the right kind of information. So yeah, I think thank you so much. We wouldn't finish. I think we are 15 minutes eating up on your time. So I think from Stratcom side, we would like to thank you for the 2 hours that you've given us, and 2 and quarter hours that you've given.
Okay. All right. I think we have lost connection there, but also I think as one of the senior members at Stratcom, I also want to thank everyone in particular our speakers for really partnering in having this done. So thank you so much. We really are humbled by this experience. All the speakers here have done this pro bono, and really it's unthinkable that such things still do happen. So humanity, we celebrate that, and I want to assure the speakers that we've started a relationship that should continue for the benefit of our two countries in particular, but for the benefit of Africa as well. I think we want to see how we can help in this space, help people navigate this space without the fears. As I think, as Chuma was saying, there's still a lot of uncertainty about is this thing really a trend that is likely to fade, or is it a real thing? So I think with those assurances, I think we are actually good. Personally, I am a journalist, I'm PR person. I've had to go to school myself just to learn, the new way of communicating these days. So I think, it's a challenge for everyone to realize how digital transformation is impacting our profession. So really appreciate this platform, and thank you to everyone for connecting. All of those who have connected, I think that benefited. So thank you so much, and have a lovely day.